One of these old days, yeah. One of these old days, we ain't gonna have to cry no more. You see, God's gonna wipe away all our tears. He gonna wipe the tears, yeah. He gonna. God's gonna wipe away all our tears. He gonna wipe the tears, yeah. He gonna, yeah. One, yeah. One.
Oh. Hey, it's working. I don't know what the fuck its problem was, but it's working. I want to talk about RE9. There's been a lot of news. They released a lot of news. They held an event where some people got to play the game for 30 minutes! I want to play the game for 30 minutes. What the fuck? I want to play the game for 30 minutes. I wanna. I don't even know what all the news are. I have no idea. There was so many new stuff. Resident Evil Requiem, new info. Maybe we'll find something with that, like that. There's a special message released 2 days ago. Okay. Oh, and hi, Jana. What's up?
プラチナアンバサダーの皆さん、こんに
This
ち
is
は。
in Japanese.
いつも応援ありがとうござい
Bah! Okay, I gotta watch this on YouTube due to the ads.
ます。応援ありが
Is there no English? English! What the fuck? Like, is there no proper article anywhere? But yeah, some people got to play the game for 30 fucking minutes. Hang on. Residents of Evil, they're trustworthy.
We have mechanics. Guys, we have Resident Evil. He's joining us.
Clarify the creature.
Oh my god. Why is... what? New photos, how about that? Official images. These are 4 days ago. Okay. Okay, I found something. New Resident Evil 9 Requiem images leak reveal details on the first-person gameplay and second playable character. So one thing that I've already found some of these news. But I wanted to like share actual articles with y'all. One thing Capcom has now confirmed, or apparently it's a leak, I thought it was a confirmation. On Resident Evil Requiem, you can play the game either on first-person view or on third-person view. Which is a rarity. Not a lot of like gaming companies do a video game that's like revolved around both. And I'm a little scared it might not be revolved around both. Because if you play Resident Evil Village, sure, the game is fun in third-person view, but it's obviously meant to be played in first-person view. because all the cutscenes automatically go to first person. You know how the game was originally released in first person view. But this, if they implement this well, this could be the best of both worlds. Like, those who enjoy the first person view will enjoy the game, those who enjoy the first person mode will enjoy it. And if they implement this well, maybe the cutscenes are not gonna be in first person view like in Resident Evil 7 and Village. A new patch of images popped up on Reddit thanks to user named Nikki Best, who claims these are from a recent demo for Resident Evil 9. According to their post, the demo ran for about 30 minutes and featured gameplay in both first and third person, something fans have been asking for ever since Village. Players will reportedly be able to swap between both perspectives at any time. Here's my idea for the game, my dream, my future. When we're playing as Grace, I'm gonna be on first person. Just like we're now stepping onto the new shoes, we wanna be on first person. It's like going playing as Ethan again from 7 and Village. But this article and all the rumors said there's a second playable protagonist who's more experienced, who's a veteran, and we all know it's Leon. It's Leon. It's Leon as Kennedy. It's Leon. So every time we switch to Leon, I feel like that's when you're supposed to change it to third person mode. It just feels appropriate that way. One of the most interesting reveals in is the confirmation of a second playable character. While the official trailer focused on Grace, the leaked details mention a familiar, fully armed character that players will be able to control. Although Capcom hasn't officially confirmed who it is, many are already guessing it's Leon Kennedy given his rumored involvement and recent leaks. So, yeah, Capcom has now, I think it's been confirmed now, there is a second playable character. The fact hasn't been confirmed who the main or the other second playable character is, but according to all leaks and rumors and everybody is speculating on it, it's Leon as Kennedy. So again, I think it makes sense if, you know, I got my hands on Resident Evil Requiem, that you'd play the Grace sequences in first person and Leon sequences in third person. Especially since we all know, like, Leon from third person view games. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 4 Remake. In terms of gameplay, the Reddit user explained that Grace explores a dark, eerie house using a lighter to see in the shadows. There's a pretty intense scene where she gets attacked by a monstrous creature and has to heal herself with a syringe. I've seen people talk about this. You heal yourself with a syringe. Syringe, like a needle. Not with a first aid spray like from other Resident Evil games. Or not with a health bottle like in 7 and Village. But there apparently is no classic healing spray this time around. Well, the article immediately mentions that. I wonder if Requiem would be like a choice. The visuals keep that classic Resident Evil vibe with tight, creepy hallways and plenty of tension. The leak also mentions a lot of environmental interaction like opening doors, turning on lights, and piecing together clues. The second playable character is said to be much more combat focused, coming in fully loaded with weapons. Again, the demo, this article is kind of misleading. The demo that apparently some people got to play, you don't get to play as a second character in the demo that apparently people got to play. But Capcom has confirmed there is a second playable character. And they have confirmed that the second playable character is much more combat focused. Again, it's Leon. Shut up. What the fuck is this game gonna be? It's gonna be a Resident Evil game. Jana, you should. Go do it. Do it! Do it! One of the images shows Grace checking out an art book with the title Shadow Ghost on the front. So this actually people have mentioned, or I saw people mentioning online. It looks like the book from Resident Evil Village. I don't know what the correlation is like there, but it looks like it. It's important to mention that while these images look legit, they weren't supposed to go live just yet, with the embargo apparently ending soon. It's likely we'll get the official screenshots and more detail directly from Capcom very shortly. I thought like we have already gotten like the official details. I just couldn't find any fucking articles. For those who have been following Resident Evil 9 rumors, this leak lines up with a lot of previous reports, like the inclusion of multiple playable characters, a new setting, and Leon's rumored return. This doesn't reveal anything to us. It's like one of the monsters, like in the demo, apparently, maybe. But if that is so, what's with the hand? The hand looks like there's two completely different monsters. But all the explanations online about the demo have mentioned only one monster. This leaves me with questions. Nosferatu hand. It does look like a horse, now that you mention it. What the fuck is happening in these photos? Again, all the mentions online have been about one monster, and it looks like there's 3 monsters. Everybody's lying about the demo. And apparently this is the hotel that they mentioned in the trailer where Grace's mother died. It does look like a hotel. And here's like actual proof of the photos of the game, because it's they mention in the demos, like, or online, that the demo is about Grace being in the hotel holding a lighter. That's the gameplay that they've seen or played. Now I'm not sure anymore if they got the played or if they only saw 30 minutes of gameplay. But considering the fact that Capcom has been so nice with the demos in the last few years, this game might actually get a demo. RE4 Remake got a demo. Village got a demo. Remake. Actually, 3 Remake might have not gotten a demo. Actually, it did. Yeah, it did. 2 Remake got a demo. Yeah, they've been awesome with the demos. One part of the game does take place in Raccoon City. That's been speculated for a couple of years now that it's gonna be the most massive Resident Evil game. So it not only has Raccoon City, but other locations as well. there's the shadow ghost. I swear to God I heard more news about this whole thing as well. But yeah, they've confirmed you can play the game either in first person or third person. And a second playable character, which is obviously Leon.
Beyond them, hello and
Oh,
welcome once again to
IGN.
IGN's weekly PlayStation show. Like two different bit sections. They always look sort of.
The rest of the gameplay we saw at the showcase was very, very familiar with Resident Evil. We got to watch the new protagonist, Grace Ashcroft, pick up where the reveal trailer left off. Strapped to a gurney in an old, decrepit hospital. We watched her escape and slowly explore the abandoned building, finding Resident Evil staple like items like a lighter, a screwdriver, and a fuse that help her progress, and eventually running into a few messed up looking creatures that chased her around as she tried to escape. So not actually a lot was revealed. I hate the fact that they got to see 30 minutes of the game though. It's probably a demo that they're gonna release to the public like few months before the game. I wanna play the fucking game. Yeah. Resident Evil Requiem. Reactions. I feel like I saw people's reactions online, but maybe I imagined everything. Oh, the Remnant Hotel is in Raccoon City. Why the fuck is there a hotel in Raccoon City? Maybe this goes back to my theory, what I pointed out in the trailer already, that they've built new buildings near Raccoon City. It's like, maybe it's a tourist attraction. But like, if it's a tourist attraction, why is there monsters in there? Okay, there's some new info. Hands-on impression. I don't know if it is. Grace must navigate what looks like a medical ward. Powerless at the start, can pick up and use makeshift weapons like glass bottles. Even though she's an FBI agent with some training, Grace is more of a bookworm, more afraid of her nightmarish surroundings, more fearful as she explores. A horrifying new monster stalks you in the game, similar to Mr. X and Lady Dimitrescu. One of the Resident Evil's best monsters yet, Stalin's stature How do you pronounce that word? Moves around like a xenomorph with sounds and movements nearby. If it's moving like xenomorph, you know that would be awesome. Having a mic in the game. Some previewers thought the fear was more palpable and stressful in first-person mode when running away. Statue from the monster than third-person mode. First-person highlights exploration and dread. Third-person seems better suited for livelier monster encounters. What did I say? When you're playing as Grace, first-person. When you're playing in third-person, play as Leon. Grace can sometimes stumble over her own feet while trying to run away. Oh, so it's like a horror movie. Is Leon in the game? Probably, more than likely, 90%. Hasn't been confirmed, but they've confirmed that there's a more active second character with more weapons. I just turned on the lights. Is there new photos that weren't? There's new photos! Where did these photos come from? Like I feel like this isn't covered enough by everybody. Like what I didn't like those articles that I showed were like from like 4 hours ago, and there's still new photos. Can you switch between first and third person? Hell yeah, you can. That's been confirmed already. That's been like the #1 topic of discussion on every article. Was it not an enemy? The horse thing? It was a statue all along. Dude, now it's the same photos that we saw. What's up with the one extra photo that wasn't available anywhere else? A well-known character makes a comeback, but it's uncertain if additional characters can be played. Leon. It's Leon. A terrifying new creature pursues you, invoking memories of Mr. X and Lady Dimitrescu. Regarded as one of Resident Evil's finest monsters, its towering moves with xenomorph-like agility and its nearby sounds and motions are deeply unsettling. So it's an alien. It's an alien isolation game. Except, wait, what? I want a mic in the game. That would be amazing. Oh my god, the tweets are so fucking negative. Demo was not playable and was pre-recorded gameplay demo of someone else playing. Well, that's confirmed. I love the stalker enemies. My favorite type of enemies. Okay, this is the video that I was originally looking for. Like, it seems like this doesn't get enough news coverage where everything is like collected into one neat little package. I have to find all of these small tidbits. Like, who knows how much I've missed because nobody's like, fuck. This is basically just people reacting to the gameplay of RE Requiem. You know, who got to see the game. No, Summer Game Fest reactions. I thought, fucking never mind. Let's just watch this. Maybe they had like closed doors at Summer Games Fest. I don't know. Maybe they did this at Summer Game Fest. Yeah, that's my spec. Yeah, let's theorize that. Yeah, that's what happened. Look, that guy's not impressed. That guy's not impressed.
Let's go, baby! Oh my god!
Exactly. Now we're getting to the old stuff. I guess the most important stuff, the most important news we found out of these. I wonder how this monster could have ended up there after a nuclear explosion. I wonder how, like... I don't want to sound mean. I am gonna sound mean. I'm gonna sound like such an asshole. I wonder, like, do these guys just, like, avoid every discussion online? Like, the fact that you're willing to tweet that shows that you're probably logged online. Like, we could probably go check his account, and he's probably logged online. He's probably a huge Resident Evil fan, yet not once, not single time has he noticed that discussion on like these tweets or anywhere that they didn't use a nuclear bomb, because everybody's automatically went and corrected them. They didn't use a nuclear bomb during RE3. She doesn't wake up in the Renwood Hotel in Raccoon City. He's mistaken. It's a mental hospital somewhere, not in Raccoon City. Okay. Yeah, I know. It was probably just like a mean comment. Like, I always think that because there's so many who like type shit online like da 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 da, and I wonder like how many times do they do that, and I'm like wondering just like if you're like a lot online and you have to write that, but you haven't seen like other fans already like correcting other fans. It's like I don't know. I don't know. I'm an asshole. $4 ago. Dude. One of the most significant things in the trailer that nobody's talking about is, I wonder what monster this is. It looks like a zombie, but I just don't think they'll ever bring zombies back. That would be. Are they bringing back zombies? I just don't think they would be bringing zombies back, unless you're playing flashback sequences, seeing as we are in Raccoon City. Oh boy. Resident Evil Requiem reactions. Today.
When you probably
Jesus.
no longer an embargo on some things that we saw. And obviously the first thing that I probably want to talk about the most from Summer Games Fest is the games that we checked out at Capcom. And there's a few, but clearly the one takes priority over all the others, and it's Resident Evil 9. So let's just talk about Resident Evil 9.
I mean, they ended the show with it. They know.
Unique, I would say, visual demo. So you'd walk into a room with a whole bunch of other people, and you probably saw some shots from it on Twitter. But yes, we were able to witness a gameplay demonstration that was not, in our was pretty much a walkthrough of what seemed like the beginning of Resident Evil 9. So this is going to come with New Girl. It starts just the same way it does in the trailer, and you begin the game in a weird, unknown, somewhat like hospital location. It feels like a psychiatric ward or through this place. So you're just making it through this extremely spooky hospital walls and stuff like that. By the way, the game is in first person. yes, you're walking around very similar to the beginning of like a Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 8 without many resources. There's no gun. There's nothing like that. The more you start walking around, you find like empty bottles. And you're like, oh, I have empty bottles. That acts like almost like a throwable. And you start picking up other small things, items along the lines of like fuses and screwdrivers and, you know, basic tools that sort of fill out the early portions of RE7 and RE8 that does have that kind of stuff. So yeah, as you start making your way through this hospital with a bunch of creepy little fake outs and freak outs and things that are scary but not inherently the big risk of the situation, the big risk happens because you find a dead body and they are obviously zombified. And this absolutely horrible, grotesque, like 9 to 10 foot tall weeping creature grabs the zombie corpse and starts eating it, and it's like all up your grill and right in your face, and it's
so
massive.
do zombies actually return?
Aggro Grace, the main character.
I just feel like, again, not like of course I'm probably gonna love the game anyway. Nothing wrong. Just whatever. But it seems like we're taking steps backwards at this point if we would return the zombies in terms of like we're in present day in the storyline, and we're now returning the zombies after all the shit that's been happening in like the storyline of the game. You know, there's been a crazy family, a crazy fucking vampire lady, crazy fucking cultists, the one cult is trying to bring their daughter back. Like, it just seems like steps backwards in terms of like story. That hey, it's just zombies again.
So you just have to run away. You just start booking it away from this thing.
You know, my point is like in real life, what would be more horrifying? Just a slow ass walking, or like fucking vampire ladies or a crazy family trying to kill you. Yeah, I don't know about the POV switch or change, because I don't even know, like, it sounds like that's something they've added like post development or like afterwards. It might be that this is RE Village case where the game is meant to be played in one perspective, and they've just added the other perspective later on. Like, almost no game actually manages to do. Not a single fucking game managed to do what like two perspectives. Like when you think about Fallout and Elder Scrolls, sure, there's a third-person perspective on those games, but they're 100% meant to be played on first person. RE Village is meant to be played in first person. It doesn't matter that there's a third-person mode.
And then I realized, oh, what we're looking at is something pretty similar to Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 8, obviously, because it's in first person. But in RE7, you know when you go in the kids' room, and the kids' room is mostly sort of like a walkthrough section where you get like a bunch of spooky stuff that sort of happens to you until the action kicks in. And RE8, when you go to the house, I can't remember what the name of the house is, but the house with the big crazy baby, spoilers for the crazy baby, and now those portions are cool. They're not exactly, I would say, heavy combat focused or super gameplay centric. They're more like atmosphere and getting you into some
tutorial
prologue you sort of have to
which
solve
speedrunners will hate on like.
And that's what this kind of was from this presentation. It was like, okay, yeah, so you're pretty much.
So
in
it's
a
something
you
wish you could skip on like the 50th playthrough.
And it's all about Grace making her way around this monster. There's some cuts in the action that take place during this demo, but a lot of freaky moments where this monster is sort of roaming around Mr. X style from Resident Evil 2 Remake. And you kind of have to like get the hell out of there or make it down a certain hallway to get the hell out of there. My impressions from...
Love how everybody always mentions Mr. X from RE2 Remake or Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village. And they never mention Nemesis from Resident Evil 3 D-Make because that game sucks so much ass. Nobody considers Nemesis from 3 D-Make as a stalker enemy.
From are that, yeah, it's very obviously opposite to the, or I'm sorry, adjacent to the stuff you see in Resident Evil 7 and 8 in those specific sequences. There was no gun, and there was no
Wait, hang on.
Resident Evil 7 and 8 in those specific
I should have analyzed this during the trailer, but I'm curious.
Was no...
It's the tape. Is the tape still there? I can't see. Is the tape still there? Is it still holding up from RE2?
Gun. And there was no direct, like, I would say, gameplay engagement mechanics.
Filler, I would say a lot of people get her wrong. Like, how do I put this? A lot of fucking idiots online marketed her for the game. I don't think Capcom was over marketing her. Like, she was, in some of the trailers, they were showing her as much as they were showing Heisenberg, for example. But it was the fucking internet that gooned all over her and made memes about her, and, you know, internet did that and that and that and that and that. Capcom, like I wouldn't be surprised, like, that a lot of people at Capcom were like, oh, she got this popular. Like, I don't think she ever was meant to have any bigger part than, for example, Heisenberg or anybody else. Actually, I'm gonna say Dimitrescu and Heisenberg. Those were like the two biggest villains. They were marketed as much. The other two family members didn't matter, but like it was the fucking fans online that were marketing her. And when she had a short section in the game, everybody was like, "What the fuck is this?" Well, what the fuck did you expect? Heisenberg wasn't the fucking... not Heisenberg. Dimitrescu was there as much as the other villains. What the fuck did you expect? No, Heisenberg is the best
When we're
enemy of
watching
the
a
game.
video demonstration, but it is visually crazy. Like, I would argue, looks as good, if not like probably one of the best looking Capcom games I think we've seen so far. So visually, it's just ridiculously striking, man. There's not a lot to say beyond that. She eventually like escapes and you make your way out in a very similar fashion to like Resident Evil 2, Leon or Claire crawling under that grate and barely making it away. It pretty much ends with you escaping the monster, finding the items that solve the puzzle of how to get out of there. And that's about it. So, you know, with that being said, I thought it was very impressive, but at the end of that presentation, I saw myself sort of like wondering what RE9 was going to be like and if it was going to be drastically different than previous Resident Evils. And at the end of that, I'm like, oh, so this is pretty much this, you know, like it's sort of an introductory sequence. I'm going to say it's 99% the beginning of the game because they are teaching you like the most basic things, like, you know, this heals you or that you go over here and you can use this item here, like that basic kind of stuff. And I do believe that there's going to be a lot more to the game, but we'll talk about that in 1 second. Because this is all we see. This is it. The demonstration concludes. There's no more teasers, but the Capcom developers do say that there is a lot more that is in store for the game that they are pretty much waiting to show. And things that will be available at a later date at Gamescom or whatnot. There will be more reveals as we get closer to the game's release that's happening in 2026. But that's not the end of the story. So, like I said, my impressions were pretty good, but I kind of wanted to see combat and how things were going to work differently. And the big reveal at the end of this presentation is that when you go into the menu and there's an options menu for perspective
first person,
control,
third person,
and it shows that, dude, you can also choose third person. Face the main character and she's walking around and doing stuff, and that's pretty much giving us the option between a first and third person. Reveal was kind of their big secret that RE9 is a first person intuitive because you got to go into a menu to do it, but limited. And thanks to the Capcom guys, I was able to play the demonstration about a 30 to, I think it was about a 40-minute total time that I had to get through it. I was just able to pretty slowly just check this thing out and play it and see what it feels like, because from my perspective on that end, it was cool, but it felt very straightforward, and it felt very from the visual presentation, felt very straightforward, and it felt very like on the rails in a certain way to get you into the action at the start of the game.
RE Village is just RE4 on frogs.
The demo, and this is different.
And RE4 remake kind of made RE Village obsolete. I'm sorry to say. Like I still love RE Village. Don't get me wrong. I always love to go back and replay it every once in a while, but like RE4 also is in a village, and you're collecting treasures, and the gameplay is overall much more fun. So there's like when you think about it like that, there's no reason to go back to RE village.
And you get the big monster, and it shows up, or she shows up, or whatever, and it starts like stalking and hunting and following you, and you always have like an escape. You can always sort of go back to the room that you initially came back to. So that happens when the monster shows up. It sort of like leads you down that path because you obviously can't go down to the other path, which is what your next objective is, right? So you go back and you kind of restart the puzzle by going back to the infirmary room that you opened up in, right? That you first awoken. And then you revisit those areas where the monster first showed up and it's no longer there. And you can hear it like in the walls above you at times. So it sounds like it's utilizing vents or grates all around this facility to move around, even though it's massive. It's really big. It's kind of funny. And yeah, you're just collecting things, but as soon as like it feels like you collect something, in the moment that you feel like I've just accomplished something, or I feel like I might be safe, something happens. Like there were several moments where I was playing through this thing and slowly making my way and like crawling very slowly through this stuff to get to my next objective or to get where I thought I needed to go. Some environmental thing would happen, like lightning would go off or something. There's another part where, yeah, this creature aggroed me and I was running away.
The baby part is
and
amazing
I
on the
finally
first
made
play.
it back
But
to the room, you know, the opening room.
not very
But
fun
upon-
when replaying
when
the
I
game.
got there, blew up for some reason. Like there was like electricity surge, scared the shit out of me, man. When I don't feel like I was that freaked out by the demo experience visually, right? When we were just watching somebody play it, but when I was there and there was no cuts and I was going through it, it was friggin' terrifying, man. And I realized something as I was playing through this. You're going through and you're making your way down hallways and you hear this thing
Making
in the
my
vents, and then
day
it goes away for a
downtown.
long period of time. So you just
Dun,
go
dun.
back to your tasks and you're trying to like get to a new spot, and then suddenly it just drops out of the roof. There's these like holes in the vents, holes in the ceiling and shit, where it would just like plop down, and all of a sudden it's just in your face. You're like, holy shit, and now I have to solve this. And I realized as I was hiding in a corner with nothing but like an empty bottle to distract this, just waiting for it to get to this spot so I could slowly creep around the corner and maybe just book it in one direction or something like that, just run as fast as I could to get into hopefully a safe zone. I realized I wasn't playing the same stuff from RE7 and RE8 like I was talking about. I wasn't playing these like cinematic puzzle moments. Dude, I'm playing Alien Isolation. Like, straight up, this was not anything like I've played in RE before, and I really realized that
Yeah,
this thing
RE7
was,
is like
dropping
Outlast,
out of
but
the walls,
this is gonna be like
and then it
Alien
started
Isolation.
hunting
Is that
me.
the
And then it started, it
is that
felt
what the-
like it
what
was
we're
like sentient
comparing
of
things
where I
with?
was, and it would get a little bit closer and start inching towards me, and like, in here before, man. This is so Alien Isolation, it's nuts. And
although
yeah,
RE7 and Outlast, the difference is that in RE7 you can actually fight
I
back.
heard from other people that might have had a chance to play with this that it was kind of hard. And figuring out how Alien Isolation works as a game is also like a little abstract, so you got to get used to it. But where I had everything I needed to finish this demo, but everything I did, the friggin' monster would not move past this one part of the hallway. So I'm like, I'm screwed. But I realized if I went around the other way, the monster busted down a wall or something that cleared up some debris that I could now put against the wall, where it goes, huh? And it goes over and looks at that thing right behind you. I'm like, holy. So yeah, when I was playing that, obviously in first person, dude, with no weapons attached, and it's just about getting from, you know, creating a game plan to go from here to there, then I'm gonna grab this, and then it screws everything up. It's just like Alien Isolation with a lot of Mr. X Resident Evil 2. But it pretty much ends there, and whether or not all that stuff comes back, I don't know, because again, we don't get a gun or anything. As a heads up, I also played this entire sequence.
Oh,
at
so
first
people
in
did
first
get to
person,
play
and I'm
it.
like, let me try this in third person. And then I played it in third person, and I was like, you know what? I'm going back to first. I think these sort of creepy, meandering, walking around sections, if these are going to be sections in Resident Evil 9, are probably better in first person. But a note, and this is not anything hinted by Capcom, this is just me coming to my
Okay,
own.
I am really wondering though, yeah, if this is like a tutorial level that's gonna be in the main game or something. I'm just really wondering. Yeah, how this is gonna work on replays. Like, I'm glad that horror seems to be more back than it was in Village. I'm just worried about the gunplay, the genuine gameplay as well. Because, like, the perfect balance would probably be something along the lines of, like, Resident Evil 4 and 7. And they kind of tried that with Village, I guess, because it's like, Village is a combination of RE4 and 7, but it leaned too much into horror. Not horror, excuse me, action.
Conclusions. When you select first person mode as this character in this scenario, it says first person recommended. But you can switch to third person. So if this is recommended, then there's going to be one that's third person recommended. Right?
Okay.
Just throwing it out.
You have a
that
theory,
there's going
yeah.
to be other sequences in the game that are likely recommended for the other one.
Leon
being
segments.
said,
Leon
was no
segments.
inclination of other characters. We've been theorizing since the trailer that we're going back to Raccoon City. Leon might show up at some place. Jill might show up at some place. Some of these
Jill is
classic
not showing
characters
up.
that we know. And there was none of that. Pretty much this thing ends right at a bridge point where it feels like the main character is about to go to a new area, a new part, a new path, or a new gameplay sequence of some kind. This felt very introductory, and it felt like this could be what Grace does. Grace could play a game that is very similar to RE7 and potentially RE8, and maybe the first half. And possibly you play as another character in third person that is a little more action-oriented. It's sounding a little RE6-ish, I get it, but I feel like the tone of this is quite cool. While I wasn't feeling super great about RE9 from watching that, I'm like, this is a little too similar, you know, to the previous games. After playing it, my ass was put in a scenario trying to survive against that monster for a period of time and escape while not getting, you know, murdered by it. It made me realize this is very Alien Isolation, especially since I have no weapons, and especially since I just have to sort of like solve puzzles of how do I get from here to there if the monster is doing this in between there. Like, what is the game plan? You know what I mean? That is all Alien Isolation is almost throughout that entire experience that I had with it. Do I think the entire game
Feel a
is
rumor
going to be
is that
this?
currently
No.
RE9 is
don't
the plan
think
to
all
be
of
the
RE9
last
is going to be Alien
numbered
Isolation like.
numbered Resident Evil game, which just means that in the future they'll just call it like Resident Evil subtitle something, and they can now the reason why they're doing that is just that they'll like have an excuse that they can do sequels, midquels, prequels, whatever the fuck, like without everybody always thinking, is this a mainline game? Because everybody always thinks the number means mainline. That's just a rumor though. And I like if rumors also say Resident Evil 9 is planned to be really big, so I wouldn't be surprised if those rumors are true, that this would be like the last numbered entry, and then they can just do whatever the fuck they want without always people being like, is this a mainline? They can just do like whatever the fuck they please. Or maybe they'll just do remakes after RE9 and they don't have any other plans currently. They're probably already planning, like, the theories are, like, now that they're bringing back a character from RE Outbreak remake, RE5 remake, Code Veronica remake, RE0 remake. Those are probably all in their fucking pockets. Like, those are the plans they're going with. Like, whether you like remakes or not, those are making money.
Like, I really don't. That doesn't make sense that there would be like a city, you know, potentially, especially one that they show in trailers and locations that they show in trailers, and you just sort of walk around.
Yeah, the title
and avoid
does imply it
one
as well.
monster. There were no other creatures in this gameplay demo, this gameplay presentation. But yes, I do have like a theory that other characters will be there and they will have accompanying play styles. The big bet theory is that, like, yeah, Grace sort of has RE7, RE8 spooky areas, while maybe a Leon has more action-oriented things where he's like fighting stuff a la RE4, and maybe potentially
Yeah,
Chill
gameplay. The
can go
gameplay
back
parts would be
to,
fun there.
Destroyed Spencer Mansion or some shit. Oh, that thing really blew up. But you know, something along those lines where
Yeah, bringing back the mansion would. It would be awesome, yeah, but that wouldn't make sense. The mansion already blew up in canon, and then they blew up the fucking city. Like the mansion should be like completely fucking
can
dead.
have static camera. That would be amazing if there was something
I just remembered like a lot of people were hoping online. I saw discussions like, oh, maybe they're bringing back the mansion. Now that he mentioned it, I would be like, that would be weird. It's already so destroyed.
like that. We have like a little reference to all of the RE games that came before. But there's no hints of that. There's nothing leaning in one direction or the next. It is just the one character Grace at the beginning of this, and that is about it. So that being said, I'm very much looking forward to more. My impressions were a lot better after playing it than it was just watching it, and that creature was hunting me, and I truly feel that creature is Lisa Trevor.
Oh.
I do. I think it might be Lisa. It sounds a lot like her. It has weird mannerisms
Is she
and
back?
stuff like that are almost Lisa Trevor-like. I'm gonna throw out another big brain theory that we're back in Raccoon City. You pretty much knock Lisa Trevor off a huge, chasm, and then she falls to the bottom, and you never see what happens to her in Resident Evil 1 Remake. And
yeah, but if you pay
there's
attention to the
some
lore,
crazy,
she's alive after
almost
that.
fan-fiction-y stuff that happens that might not be canon in Raccoon City, which Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which I'm like, I don't think that's true because Claire gets
Operation
shot in the
Raccoon
face,
City isn't canon.
in the end of those games at times. I don't know if any of those are technically.
Don't
like,
fuck
really
with me.
canon.
I know my
It
canon.
was truly terrifying. This thing was mega spooky as it was hunting me. So anyway, looking forward to more. Can't wait to see what Gamescom offers. If we're gonna get a hint or inclination of further gameplay developments beyond the thing that we
Gamescom
saw,
in August?
because it did feel
Only
pretty
2 month
self-contained.
difference.
It felt like almost a tutorial, but a pretty challenging one that is just going to sort of terrify you like right at the beginning of the game. But again, most of these things are assumptions. All we have to go by is just that this demo is the way it is, and Grace is the main character right now, and we'll see how things develop and change over the next couple of months. Anyway, I'll be back with more as soon as possible. There were a couple of other games at Summer Games Fest that I got to check out, if not play, including Onimusha and Pride. So, it's next time.
Coolest title reveal ever. Still. Oh shit, you can't see me. I wish there was more info. There isn't. Traditional Resident. Don't you mean traditional Resident Evil where like the last 30, 60 2 hours, 30 to 60 minutes to 2 hours to 3 hours, like it's just action heavy slop. RE7's boat section, man. Truly the fucking worst thing ever. I would say RE7's boat section is like worse than playing RE6 or... Actually, I love RE6. The boat section in R is like worse than just like playing RE Gaiden. This is lame. I want my music back. The enemies are fucking boring in RE7. It sucks. RE7, I kind of like, I wanna go back and forth with. Like, there's so many great choices they made, but there's also so many choices where it just feels like laziness. Like, what happened when the boat was introduced? I even hate the caves after the boat. Okay. We've talked about Requiem enough. Let's play one chapter of Coffee Talk. I gotta go. Nice of you to join us, though. Love ya. Love y'all. Let's go! One chapter of Coffee Talk! With the press of a button! My PC was just there. Now my Xbox is there! I gotta combine my Switch like to this setup as well. Although I don't know when I'm gonna stream from Switch. Too bad I drank my coffee before we got to coffee time. I'm gonna go grab my water, by the way, at this point. Who's ready for one Coffee Talk episode? Just one. Like always, just one. Oh my god, Barbie Project Friendship was added to Game Pass. That's probably an easy achievement game. I'm glad that I check out my Xbox almost daily. Barbie. Has to be. It has to be. It has to be. ZillionJape Ultimate Backlog. Why am I, guys? Why am I hungry? I ate earlier already, and I was like so full after that. Symphonia. I've probably already checked whether this is an easy one. Still, regardless. That I've definitely checked. Is there games leaving Game Pass? Because those are something that I need to pay attention to as well. Now, I want to start paying attention to those. You know, if there's a game leaving, that's an easy achievement. Horror! Batman Arkham Knight. Are there no games leaving Game Pass at this current time? Seriously? Anyway. One coffee talk episode. Oh yeah. This is the stuff. Day 13. Okay, I feel like my headphones are like killing me, Granley. Like, they're like pulling my hair. Oh fuck, I should have... I just remember I should have done something today. Oh, it's too late now. Welcome. Hey, Pop. Good evening, everyone. Everyone's safe and sound tonight. So far, so good, officer. With the cop, we're supposed to be watching this area hanging out in a coffee shop. I'm not so sure about that. Hey, I'm working right now. I just love multitasking, you know. That requires skill. Taking a break and working at the same time, you mean? You know it. That's an oxymoron. That's why I said it requires skill. Anyway, Chase, I really need an espresso to keep me awake tonight. Coffee, coffee, coffee. An energetic espresso tea for the officer upright on patrol. Oh, you and your sense of humor. Your espressos are always out of this world. Definitely better than mine or my wife's. It's not a competition, officer. Oh, it is for her. She thought if she could make a better one, I'd stop coming to this place so often. That's not happening anytime soon. So, anything special today? Surprisingly, no. Gotta make sure this place is safe, though. What are you grinning about? I mean it. You were here the last 2 days, right? Yes, I was. And some crazy things happened here. And 2 days in a row. As if the gods were trying to give me first-hand experience to use in my story. Still fretting over your story, eh? Well, the deadline for my draft is getting nearer. Oh yeah. How's it going? Well, quantity-wise, it's shaping up pretty well. Quality-wise, honestly, I'm pretty confident. Best of luck then. Do you have any updates about the last 2 days of chaos? For the werewolf case, I spoke to Gala about it. What? Are you going to arrest him? Some officers at the precinct were talking about it, but in the end, we agreed not to do it, because he really helped a lot that night. We asked the folks in the hospital, and some other people in the area. Without him, we'd have a lot of more problems. He helped a lot getting most of the werewolves safe in the hospital. Too bad he couldn't lock himself up in time. Thankfully, he didn't hurt anyone, so those would rather detain him. Can't do anything anyway. Phew! I'd be pretty mad at you if they didn't arrest him. Hey, being mad at me wouldn't solve anything. I know. What about Rachel's dad? Any idea what happened? I'm not too sure myself. Most of it didn't happen around here. What? Yeah, it seems like it happened out near Coachella. That's a long way away. I mean, it's not actually that far, but he wouldn't be able to walk it, not in that state. So far, that's all I know. Rachel! Rachel? Is Mr. Henry alright? Before that, could I have a cup of hot chocolate, dark? Hell yeah, you can. Did I change the game title on YouTube? Yeah, I did. Hell yeah, I did. I'm getting pro at it. Mr. Professional Streamer right over here. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. Your hot chocolate's ready. Thank you. That's going to be fine. He woke up this afternoon, thanks to Mr. Gala. He got help fast enough to stop things getting worse. He's doing okay then. It'll take a few days before he fully recovers, with no permanent injuries we need to worry about. That's good to hear. I know, but still, it's all because of me. Because I didn't listen to him. When all he wanted to do was protect me. Hang on. But still, it's all because of me. Because I didn't listen to him. When all he wanted to do was protect me. Hang on.